welcome to another episode of Christian Ricky, and today we're talking about intentional dating. And I have Kabulu and Tinashe with me. And I think I should mention first that they are engaged, newly engaged. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited. I really am. I think I cried a little when I found out. But yeah, I did. I cried a little. It's like, oh, I mean, I love so much. I just love it.
And I
It
think
just
when
makes me
you
so...
witness people you've chilled with and go
Yes.
to the next step,
Yeah.
it's something
It
special.
really is. It
the
also
story,
just gives me hope that if God can do it for other people that I know, not just the
Yes.
story on TV, He
Yeah.
can do it for me.
For sure.
So that's great. Oh, I'm getting emotional again.
Of course.
So Tinashe is into software sales. He loves movies. He loves writing scripts and he loves directing. He's currently, him and Kabulu are currently working on a dating show. That's coming up, so you guys must stay tuned for that. And then Kabudi is a senior accountant. She enjoys doing charity work, and every Christmas she does a charity event for orphaned kids and homeless kids. So if you guys have anything to donate, I would encourage you to. It is the godly thing to do. And she finds therapy in gym, which is a weird thing because gym is just hard. I feel like I find war at gym, not therapy. And she's an entrepreneur. She has two companies. One is a cleaning services company called Siruru Bele, and another company called Dainty Grabs, which is a catering company. Welcome, guys. I'm so happy to have you. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
So I want us to talk about intentional dating. As you guys know, I'm single, and I've been going around asking people questions, people that have seen success in the dating world, because I have not. I mean, I'm single. Clearly, I haven't. So I've been talking to people about intentional dating. But before we spoke about intentional singleness, so that was an eye opener, and I found out that I've been doing singleness the wrong way. Because I mean, you need to be single before you start dating. So do it right before you start dating. So in my understanding, intentional dating is dating with a purpose and a plan, assuming that we're dating with the end result to get engaged and marry.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, most of my dating was just for, just wanting companionship, loneliness.
Yeah.
It's nice to have bae, someone to text you every morning. It's nice,
Someone
the
to talk
attention.
to,
Someone to talk to, someone to love on you, buy you gifts, do the most.
For sure.
Yeah. So what would you say is intentional dating for you guys? And if you're not dating intentionally, what would that look like? So if you're doing things the wrong way, how does the disaster look? Let's start with what's intentional dating. Kabudu.
Okay. So for me, intentional dating means, like you've already said, dating with a purpose. It's being intentional in everything you do in that specific relationship. So that's what it means to me. But I also think it is more about being aware of what you're doing. So it is being present and doing that relationship because you want to be in it, or being in that relationship because you want to be in it. So that's where the intent is, so you are intentionally in that relationship. It's not a by the way relationship. It's not now we're suddenly dating. A lot of people fall into the trap of just hanging out with someone for a while, and then it's then translated into dating eventually, right?
Like we're doing boyfriend and girlfriend things.
Yes. Or you just maybe just go to movies together. You do those kind of things that would, people then take them as we are now dating, so I think intentional dating is when you are aware of what you're doing. You're not falling into anything that you're not aware
and you're
of.
also being clear as we go,
and you're very clear of what you're doing. So I think that's what intentional dating is.
Let's hear from Mr. Tinashe. What do you agree?
Yeah, to a large extent. I think it also has an element of evaluation, right? So checking if you can spend the rest of your life with this person, right? And at the moment that you find that, it's not going to work out, then you obviously end it. But now, me saying that, obviously I can identify some loopholes that you then get some serial daters who then evaluate
Like
a
multiple
whole lot of
candidates,
people, right?
yeah.
Exactly, right? And then now I think that just becomes more an intent thing, like what is your intention?
Okay, so being intentional in the dating, also being clear, right? Like
Yeah.
we're going to movies, we're doing things, doesn't mean we're girlfriend and boyfriend until we say it.
Yeah.
Is it someone who's supposed to say it? Or anyone can say it?
I think, like, okay, so just to go back a little bit, Manaka, to your other question is what would the opposite be,
Yes.
right? So I think Tinashe touched on it a little bit now when he said it's when people, then serial daters who are just then evaluating for, not really evaluating, but say they are. So the opposite of that would be when you know for sure that this is not the kind of person I would ever be with. So the intentional dating that Tinashe is also talking about is when you are intentional about dating someone and evaluating them on that basis that I could possibly spend the rest of my life with this person. And the opposite is you are now getting into this relationship knowing very well that this is not the person I would want to be with. But so what you're doing is satisfying some part of your life or satisfying an urge to just be with this person because you want to be, but not because you want to have anything long term with them.
Yeah. So I guess there's many benefits that come with being with someone, right?
Yes, of course. That's why we all want it.
Yeah. So like baby, you might be chasing those things, knowing like she says full well that like this is not going anywhere. But perhaps I don't know. Maybe you like the fact that they've got money and they can take you places, or you like the fact that they're beautiful.
Cook.
Or,
and you can eat free food every day,
Yeah.
So,
they have a catering company and they can make you like catered food every day.
Exactly,
yes.
So
But
you
my
just
other
keep them
question
around.
is there a specific person we should ask? Like
I see.
will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend? Is that a role that belongs to someone? Or Kabudi can do it, you can do it. Who asked?
Look. So for me, I'd find it very odd if, like Kabuji asked me, will you be my,
Yeah.
We're not talking
about the will you marry me? We're talking about the will you be my boyfriend?
Yeah, even that I think is still a proposal in itself, right? I think I'm a little bit traditional, right? So I'd expect her to not ask that directly, but maybe lay out a breadcrumb trail, just like exactly, flirt. But then like if she's direct like that, I don't know. I might say yes still, but then it kind of takes away, from the experience. That's just for me though.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jefferson Batkey says that dating without the intent of getting married is like going to the grocery store with no money. You either leave unsatisfied or you take something that isn't yours. I found that so deep because a lot of us date without the intent of getting married and we just break each other's hearts, go around breaking each other's hearts, doing the most to each other emotionally and the most, So have you dated unintentionally before, and how was that experience?
Definitely. I think, I've had phases in my life where I wasn't too, serious about these things. It was more about having fun and that kind of thing, right? But I must say, I think heartbreak is on both sides, right? Whether you're dating intentionally or not, there's still that room for heartbreak. Perhaps if you're dating intentionally, there's a little bit more closure that when things don't work out, maybe you know that you tried everything and this wasn't the person for me. But it could be one-sided. That one person thinks that it's not going to work out, and the other person is like, "Nah, it's you, the person for me." You know what I mean? And in that case, then the heartbreak is still there. But yeah.
So you can't avoid the heartbreak.
Yeah, I don't
unintentional.
think. Yeah.
But then also, I would argue that when you're dating unintentionally, you clear, and clarity makes heartbreak much easier. I mean, if we're dating unintentionally, right? Like you were saying, Kabudu, that we tend to assume that he's my boyfriend because we do boyfriend and girlfriend things, right? And then he breaks my heart. And he feels like he was not my boyfriend, so he doesn't really feel at fault because We were not dating.
Ah,
As
I
opposed
see.
to when I know and you told me that I am your girlfriend,
Mm.
that hurt is different because now I knew my place as well and it was communicated to me. I don't know. What do you think?
So I think, okay, firstly, if it's unintentional on the guy's side and intentional on the girl's side, right? This the scenario you gave, right? That there's one party that's dating intentionally,
Yes.
and the other one is having fun, right?
Yes.
I think in that case, it's just like, as the other person, you should seek clarity. She
The
bugged me
intentional
about it.
person.
The intentional person,
Yes.
exactly. So she bugged me about it the whole time. She's like, "You haven't asked me to be your girlfriend, right?" And
That's the spirit, girl.
Of course, you need to know. You need to know what you're doing.
But I never really got around to doing it. It's a funny story because on the day that I was like, okay, let's do this. I took her to a fancy restaurant on a rooftop and all these things, right? And the guys burnt the meat.
Oh,
right?
no.
I paid an arm and a leg, right?
And you are
she's
so
like,
upset you couldn't get over it.
yeah, so I was like, I don't know if I want to do it today. And then I sort of postponed looking for like
the
the
perfect
right
time,
the perfect time, and it just never came. But like I actually did it. The next thing was that we got engaged, right? So yeah, definitely as the intentional party, you should seek clarity. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But still, like I'm saying, I think these things are more like it's really trial and error, because you might see clarity and that person knows, okay, if I tell, and look, this has happened to me, that if I tell this girl that I'm not serious about this,
I lose her.
obviously she's gonna go, but I'm enjoying the benefits, right? So better let me just like
don't take that advice, guys.
No, it's not advice. I'm saying, like,
don't try this at home.
The checking, the intentional party cannot just rely on someone saying, yes, I'm serious about you.
Yeah.
There has to be maybe telltale signs that you look out for. I think it would be wise.
I mean, you can also kind of tell when someone's into you.
Yeah.
But then again, sometimes people seem like they're into you, but they're not really.
Yeah.
So you can never really tell unless we just verbalize it, I think. Yeah. So be intentional with your data collection.
Yes. That's the best way to put it.
Yes. Be intentional with the data collection, and then everything else will come after that.
For sure.
Okay. So Tinashe, this one is for you. So the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And I believe the keyword there is find, right? Not he who stumbles upon or he who just appears. It's he who finds a wife. So what has your journey to finding a wife been like? And what does it look like when you get to a point where you're like, this is my wife? Because I feel like a lot of guys don't get there. At your age, people are like 50s and 40s and they're still like gallivanting these streets. So what does it look like when you get to a point where you're like, yeah, I have found a wife?
Look, I think when you know. I think there's just like, in our case, right? When we met, I wasn't ready to date, right? I was I was still like still saving, because getting married costs money.
Of
right?
course.
I was still saving. I was also not ready, if I can call it, emotionally, right? And then I meet Kabulu whilst I'm in this phase. But
sorry, are you already saving for marriage when you meet her? So you're in your singleness, you're already saving for like your future wife.
Of course, you have to.
Wow.
Because
okay.
I think that's one of the first things I knew about him, that he wants to get married.
Yeah,
right?
and he's already saving for it.
So it wasn't, I want to get married to you. I want to get married.
But so now the intention is already there. It's not about us in a relationship, but it's my intention by myself. Is I want to get married.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And I think that's what we both had in common, that is the kind of life we want for ourselves, to eventually get married. But obviously then we're still in the search of the person to get married to.
Yeah.
So
So I then meet her, and now obviously with a few encounters, I can tell, okay, there's some connection here that's different to everyone else, right? There's something about her that just makes us stand out amongst the rest. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, even though I'm not ready, or in what I perceived to be ready, I'm not there yet. Now my evaluation is, do I potentially miss out on something beautiful because I wasn't ready, and then now save up all this money and get to a point where I'm emotionally ready, and all the people around me are not what I like, right? So I decided to drop all that and just figure it out, So that was me finding.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that so much. That's some great advice for the gents. I mean, if you want to get married, start not even saving money, just start doing things that will get you there in your singleness. It's not about, let me find Bay first and then I start doing the things, because that prolongs the process. Now Kabulu would have had to wait for you for 3 years to save up. But she did it already, so we can just get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
So Kabulu, this one is for you. What would you say are some of the most important things, like questions that you need to answer before you get to a point where you're considering marriage? Some points to look at. I mean, yes, we date people, but what are those, this is my husband, characteristics that you try to look for? Not even just questions that you should ask each other as well.
I think for me, I was looking for a certain type of feeling,
That you've never felt before.
I knew it. I knew it existed, and I knew that I wasn't asking for too much. I was just asking for somebody who's genuine, someone whom I can really be myself around at any given time. Someone that I don't feel like I need to wake up in the morning, wear some makeup, and or somebody that I have to come dressed the best for them to notice me. So there was just a certain kind of person I was looking for, right? So for me, it started there. And it was also in the conversation. If I don't connect with you conversation-wise, it's not going to work, I wanted somebody real, someone genuine, someone who's not shallow, someone who knows what they want. And I think those are the kind of things that you need to answer to yourself. Like, you must be honest with yourself to not overlook those things. If they're important to you, then you must really fight for them. You must, in whatever you do, just say, until I get that, until I feel that feeling I know that exists, then I'm not getting into a relationship with anyone, So, and then other things will follow then, the kind of person you are with, does he care for me? So those are the things that, do you care for me? Because as much as we are strong women, but we are still emotional beings, you need somebody who will take care of your emotional side, someone who will be there present in everything that you do, who supports you. So for me, so those were the things that I was looking for. And I think, one, you must be comfortable being single or being alone until you find what you really want. If you're not finding it, then it's not for you.
And I mean, also people will say that your standards are so high, you're unrealistic.
And
people
that's not true.
Things,
that is not true. So
when the standards are high, that person just doesn't meet the standard.
Exactly.
So I'd have the same, right? Like, because I think I've got a very unconventional view of what a relationship should be like, and whenever I explained it to the ladies, I'd get called all sorts of names, and they say,
unrealistic,
this and that, and I'm just like, it's just not you.
You don't make the standard,
It's just not you, and that's okay. That's for someone else,
But also, I mean, it's hard when you're talking to the people around you and saying, this is what I want, and they telling you your standards are too high, or speaking to your family, and they're like, no, there's no men like that. They don't exist. They say things like that. There's no men like that. They don't exist. All men are like this. And just settle for these kind of men.
So it's when you get to that point where you are comfortable to overlook all of those comments and things that people say and say, I want this and I'm going to get that.
Yeah. And that would be a horrible situation to be in if some people advise you that your standards are a bit too high and you wind up settling, because that's what's going to happen. You settle for someone And for the rest of your life, you might, spend it wondering what could have been.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like also everything goes back to your community as well. I mean, not just friends, family, the people you keep around that speak to you, that say things to you.
Yeah.
Are you chilling with the people that are saying, settle, or that are saying no?
All men cheat. You see,
exactly,
for
all
me,
men cheat,
yes,
things like that.
It's always been no, they don't. No, they don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. I believe that strongly as well. Not all of them.
Yes, I've seen men that do not cheat, and I've been around men that do not cheat, and it's not.
You just haven't caught.
I don't think so, and I don't even think it's because they are hiding it from me, or it's because they really honestly don't, and they do get tempted as much as
everyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's what do you do when you get tempted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as much as a man finds a wife, as a woman, you want to be found. All right. What can you say to the ladies out there who feel like nobody sees them? Like they're just there. She's looking hot always, but nobody sees her.
Yeah.
What are some encouraging words you'd say to someone who's trying to find their own Tinashe, but they're not finding him? That's for me, by the way.
I would definitely say it is okay. Wait, there's nothing wrong with you.
Some hard truths, girl.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. They are just not for you. And I think once a person gets comfortable with their truth, that this individual here is not for me, or these people here who come along and flake off are not for me, then you get comfortable in knowing that whatever is for you will stick. So I would say women should just be comfortable, dress up, do whatever you need to do. Obviously, don't lock yourself up in your house. Tinashe is not going to get into your house. Definitely not. But get out there, be yourself, be available to that if you want to, but have your boundaries. I had my boundaries with Tinashe.
Can you just share a bit of that, if you don't mind?
So this guy was, I think, like he said, initially he was in a playful state, right? And I wasn't about to. I was open to entertaining him, to hearing his conversation, because he's the funniest guy I've ever met. And so for me, I enjoyed those conversations. I enjoyed chilling with him, but I wasn't going to give any of myself in any way or form, right? Emotionally or financially or physically or whatever. I wasn't going to give myself to him, until I knew what was going on, right? So have those boundaries. Even when you are entertaining the people or those guys that are there, just have your boundaries and say, this is as far as I can go, and as far as I cannot go until I get what I want, or if I see that this has a potential of blossoming into something great. But if not, then my boundaries stand.
That's awesome. So Tinashe, I want you to speak to the guys. A guy who feels like he's ready for his wife, but he's not finding her. What are some encouraging things you'd say to them, just so they don't beat themselves up? Bae is coming.
Hey, look, I'd say put yourself out there. Go out, meet people. Throw events. I think for me, the one thing that I can say helped me a lot was that, like, as much as I'm like more of a shy person, reserved.
Is it?
You like saying that?
I made every attempt to meet as many people as possible, right? My mother once advised me that, look, it usually so happens with men that if you are not someone that's always out there meeting people, getting to know what different personalities are like, you probably marry the first girl that you see, right? The first pretty one, or the first one that has got some quality that that you like, you marry her, right? And then by and by you start working somewhere and you meet a different girl, and she seems a little bit better than now you're in a bit of a predicament. But the more people you meet, right, for me, the more likely you are to know yourself as well as know what's out there. So I'd say get out more, meet people without dating them. Do you get what I'm saying? Meet people, make friends, and just get to know what people are like. And I think, that would probably open you up to finding someone that you really like.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was really good. Okay, so I would say that from this, I picked up that intentional dating is if things go great after you got to know a lot of people, like Tinashe said, data collection, then he asks you out, and you go out again, and then eventually he says, will you be my girlfriend? Right? And then now the ball is in your court to say yes. And then from there, you start looking at, can this person be my husband?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Cool. That's good. Thank you so much, guys. So do you guys have like any last Nyana things you want to say? I mean, that was already a conclusion what you said.
Really?
It's just cherry on
That
top.
was quick.
Was it? Do you guys want to talk some more?
That was really fun. I think it's really eye-opening, to a lot of people if you talk about these kind of things and just hear people's perspectives. And especially as a Christian, you think that you are going to, the first guy you meet is going to be the one.
Yeah.
And you should always be open to knowing that you may meet a lot of frogs along the way, but your faith shouldn't die because of that, and not everyone is for you. As much as you're not for everyone, not everyone is for you. So at least rest in that truth, knowing that I'll be okay with the person that's for me.
Wow.
And while you wait and while you get to that place, you are emotionally ready, because you could be depleted from the hurt. Heal every single time. Ensure that you heal from one relationship. Heal yourself. I think I say that to a lot of my friends, to say you need to heal. And don't just jump into the next relationship just because now you are in desperate look of your Mr. Right. Just take your time, heal, then get into the next one.
I think that people sometimes think that this whole relationship thing is something that's got some kind of a method or formula to it, right? Which is not, well, in my view, really the case, right? Everyone has got their own unique story, and what worked for us doesn't necessarily work for everyone, or wouldn't work for the next person. So I don't think anyone should try and replicate anything that has happened out there. Just have your own story, right? And then in addition to that, as a person, right, if it really starts with that intention to say, and of course, there is the people that didn't have the intention and probably stumbled into a relationship, but the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. That means there must have been some looking there,
yes,
right?
Of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that intention is important, and as a guy, you need to figure out what is it that will make me a good husband, right? And then work on that, right? Work on getting to that place that you'll be a good husband. And it might not be that you will find your wife when you get there. Even if she finds you at the beginning of that phase of working towards becoming a good husband, it's still a good thing. And as a woman, you do the same, to say, what would make me a good wife, right? And start working on those qualities that makes someone a good wife, at least in your perception. And you're likely to attract the kind of husband that you're looking for if you put yourself in that kind of position. Right?
That's good. Thank you so much, guys, for having the conversation with me. It was so nice. I want to have more. I really do. I mean, I feel like I have more questions, but part two. Let's do a part two.
All right,
This was great. Thank you so much, guys. It was so insightful. I feel like now what I'm going to do, because I am single, I know I say it all the time, but I want you all to know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work on myself and be the wife that I want to be in my singleness. And not just wait to become that person when I'm a wife, because that's too late. Also, habits, right, become who you are. So I need to start now, not when I get married. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Please do DM me, send me a voice note, tell me what you think. If you have any questions, we did say we're going to have a part 2. So if you guys have questions, then they can answer the questions. I mean, they're not pros, but they can share their experiences on how they did their thing to get to where they are.
We're not pros.
No, we're not. You feel like a pro being on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Tinashe, the pro, will come back and give us some pro tips. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you, Kabulu. Thank you, Tinashe. We appreciate you guys talking to us.
Thank you, Manaka.
From me and Tinashe and Kabulu, bye.
Bye.
Bye.